Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm at the Harry Potter Studios tour for the Dark Arts event. Please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you.
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We're festooned with about 100 or so pumpkins, as made by Pierre Bahana and his talented prop making team, based on the computer-generated versions that you see in that first film. And on the tables we have a marvellous looking feast. During filming, this genuinely would have been a mix of real food and resin plastic food. Now, there's lots of details around the Great Hall. One big detail that's missing, of course, the ceiling. Now, the Great Hall ceiling is, of course, enchanted to look like the sky outside, but it's a little bit difficult for us models to get stars or clouds or snow up there. Try as they might. The sky was added in post-production using the magic of computer effects. Now, the ceiling might not be real, but if you stamp on the floor, that floor is real York flagstone, like you find in real castles up and down the country. Odd choice for a film set, as most sets are quite temporary, but the filmmakers realised they needed a nice strong material to withstand the wear and tear of lots of big iconic scenes, like of course the sorting ceremony. And we've got all four of the Hogwarts houses, various costumes dotted around the room, as you can see. Over on this side, we have one of the most important, the House of our heroes, the courageous Gryffindors, including Mr. Neville Longbottom in his battle cardigan. And on the other end, we have a very special costume. We've got this little one here in a little wizard hat. This is Harry Potter's first ever set of robes that Dan Radcliffe wore for the very first days of filming on Philosopher's Stone when he was just 11 years old, way back in September of the year 2000. Now, just like Harry, Ron and Hermione would have done, you come through the big doors, up the central aisle, and all the way up to the teacher's table, where they're all sorted in front of some of Britain's finest acting talent, playing the Professors of Hogwarts. And next to them we have the Hogwarts House Ghosts, especially for Dark Arts, including the Grey Lady of Ravenclaw, the Bloody Baron of Slytherin, the Fat Friar of Hufflepuff, and on this side, the nearly headless Nick of Gryffindor. This is an early stage costume. It's sort of they used during the design process. And on top of the Great Hall table, right at the end, of course, is the big guy with the beard. That naturally is Rubeus Hagrid. Now, Hagrid, as you may know, was played by an actor called Robbie Coltrane. However, first movie-making secret today, Hagrid was actually two people, and Robbie Coltrane never wore that costume. You see, Robbie Coltrane is quite tall. He's about 6'2", but not tall enough to be a half giant. So that is the costume of his size double, a man called Martin Bakefield, a former England rugby player who is 6'10" tall. Massive guy, but still not tall enough. So they also added stilts onto the shoes, they padded out the costume, and they gave him a very realistic, moving animatronic head.
Please hit the pause button if you'd like to read the information.
But is it here?
And what does that top look like? When you get to the mid bit?
Where are they?
What do you mean? That's Mark. The answer is Chudley. Chudley. Mm-hmm. Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
There are designers and there are production designers like Stuart. They refuse.
Oh, wow.
During the filming of Harry Potter the Death Eaters, featured from the Goblet of Fire through to the Deathly Hallows Part 2. The look and feel of the Death Eaters was adapted throughout the Harry Potter film series. However, one element that didn't change was their menacing presence. Please make way for the Death Eaters. And the Order of the Phoenix brought to life the physicality of these striking characters by creating the art known as wand combat. These movements, performed by the actors, the powerful costumes, as seen here, designed by Jenny Tanin, gave the Death Eaters their fearsome feel and reputation, which carried right through from their first appearance to their last.
So what we got here then?
This is unicorn blood. So this is actually a mirror with vegetable glycerin over the top of it. So you get the effect of the reflection as if it's like liquid mercury, but none of the poisonous aspects of it.
Can you actually make it yourself at home then, or?
Well, I mean, if you can get hold of some vegetable glycerin,
Yeah.
and a mirror,
Yeah.
then yeah, definitely.
About to board the Hogwarts Express.
to do that, we had to put the model car onto a 6-axis motion base, which will go up and down, round and round, over quite a wide range of axis points.
There was no way we could physically build a set large enough to then film a practical vault travelling at such speeds. Stuart Craig had built a scaled replica. We scanned that and used that as a template for designing the movement of the cart and where it would travel.
We put the actors on the cart, and then the cart follows the route of the imaginary one, so we get exactly the correct flow and a movement that's required.
We also wanted to use the space and really show how dynamic the cart was moving and how big the space was. So we did a lot of swooping camera moves through the space where you really got a sense of the scale of the cart within vast cavernous space. And this allowed us to shoot quite freely without sort of any kind of limitations on what the camera or the cart could do.
For the most part, the Harry Potter films got probably the best combination of real effects and visual effects seamlessly joined together.
With the interior of Gringotts Bank, each of those columns obviously hand manufactured from a mould, but obviously the original one was turned on a massive lathe.
And the next process is applying plaster vermiculite whilst we're turning hand each end. So what we've got to do is
treasure. So as we saw Harry trying to get to the front and the back of the step, we could make the treasure appear to grow throughout the scene.
We probably manufactured 60,000 or 70,000 pieces to create that point.
And then on top of that, CGI guys added more treasure reproducing itself, so you get a sense of movement, replication and growth all in the one sequence.
So visual effects would work with what we provided. So all the pieces we had, they would scan and digitize, and they were able to then place back into the shot to create pieces which were expanding.
We had this idea that it would be a bit like popcorn, and you would see it popping and popping and popping, and every time it popped there would be a pause, and then it would keep multiplying. So it felt almost dangerous and like it was erratic. One of the complications was the interaction. So the actor was going to have to touch and climb on the treasure and move in a less than physical space. So we go to a relatively with we can then interact with, so it can actually provide it in a very
The Strange Vault is a fantastic example of my team and the other departments working at their best and contributing at their best to create such a great scene.
Some of the designs from the Slytherin common room. One of my favourite things about this room is you really get an appreciation of, what they do.
Yeah.
Because there's so much work that goes in that you just don't see on screen, is there? But you've got things like the designs here of the Slytherin common room that will then eventually turn into the the white cardboard
Yeah.
here, which then eventually becomes the sets that we see and we love. And so you've got tiny little details that they go in from the fireplace all the way down to the skull box that's sitting in the common room. And I mean, the common room is something that you see in one film for about 5-6 minutes, but they still go to all that effort designing these tiny details, things like that. But then that's just one aspect of many in the art department. And another fraction of that is storyboarding.
Yeah.
And the storyboarding is incredible. So the detail that they go into in the actual storyboarding themselves is, like you could see, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It sure is.
These are just like, well, they're probably quite quick drawings of these people.
It'll take me 3.
I mean, look at this. Absolutely gorgeous, and the amount of detail that they go into, simply just to show what kind of camera angle, whether we're a close-up, we're a panning shot, a zoom in, and what direction potentially the camera will be moving. You can see some of it here. The expressions on their faces, and then just short little notes just to explain what's going to be going on, which is one of my favourite things to see, because the amount of work that goes into it, all the way from each shot. And this is just one scene.
It's like one scene, is it?
Yeah, there's just one scene where they're in the Hall of Prophecy.
Yeah.
You can see them smoking. There's a great shot where they combine a few boxes to make the spell ricochet off one another.
That's my favourite scene, that is, where all the prophecies fall off.
And so originally for that scene, they designed just over 15 or 17,000 actual glass bulbs. So you can see some of them here. You can see they're beautiful. They're ranging in different sizes, different shapes. You've got hundreds of them. It was actually ended up being thousands. And then the director turned around and said, unfortunately, we're going to be making this a CGI scene, so none of these actually got used in the end. But it's a great example of how much work they'll still go into. They still kind of put all that effort into it, making it as fantastic as they can, even though it might not get used in the end. That would have happened so many times. And they would have just had fun with it as well. Because you've got things like the proclamations from the Order of the Phoenix that Professor Umbridge puts out. So you can see some of the designs here. And they just had so much fun coming up with a whole bunch of different designs and things that they have to forbid, more or less. So you can see here, pink is hereby forbidden. Any pink articles shall be confiscated. This is probably because obviously pink is Professor Umbridge's signature colour. She can't be undermined by anyone else. And I love this one that's like, boys and girls are not permitted to be within 8 inches of each other. Boys are not permitted to be within 8 inches, but girls are fine. Girls can be trusted apparently to be within 8 inches. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of them that just get put in and just have
lovely, thank you.
People have fun just making them, designing them, doing whatever they like with them, things like that. But yeah, it's just incredible what they can do. And then for different scenes, so you've got a scene with Dumbledore. It's coming from sound. So some of these concept arts are then transferred into actual scenes themselves, depending on where they are good. Most of them are used for design, to get ideas of how different things are going to turn out. You can see Filch listening in,
I'd love that
doing
one.
the scanning. I know, it's great. And the detail in it is fantastic as well. So you can see some of the concepts for the centaurs. Things like that.
Oh, that's cool. I was there last week, so...
Yeah, there you go. Kind of fits together. But yeah, Stuart Craig has to go and make a model for everything. He's the brains of it all. So you've got the model of Hogsmeade here.
I don't think I'd have the patience, to be honest.
No, and they're all made to scale as well. That's the thing. So they can place tiny cameras on the actual models themselves, called lipstick cameras, and then they can get an idea of what the shots will look like. And because it's made to scale, they can build it up, and once it's built, it will be to scale. As you can see here, this is what they did. So this is the model of Hogsmeade that they made for filming. So when they actually did filming of Hogsmeade, whenever you see it from like a top-down shot, they filmed this model.
Oh, cool.
Which is very cool. So you can see Honeydukes here. So Honeydukes was the same set as Ollivanders. They used the same set as Ollivanders for that. So you can see the telltale curved windows and those bars underneath. And so this was this tiny model set they used. They even had like tiny shoes on toothpicks that they used to like push into the snow to make it look like that. And there's a great shot here of one of the model makers putting snow on the set. He's up on a little cherry picker lift, and you can see him sprinkling snow.
Yeah, we've been to the Hogwarts in the snow as well. So, yeah.
So that's the same method that they use for the model at the end.
That's cool.
Which is fantastic.
I bet that takes ages to do.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can see just the details of just creating one building.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the cardboard base to it. They've got the plaster, tiny little model, dustbins, old milk canisters, troughs.
No, you think of everything.
Yeah, because it's a full Hogsmeade set, bigger than that one. It's still quite amazing what they can do. And then we've just got location boards here.
Yeah.
This is Alnwick Castle, where they shot some of the scenes. For example, they've got over here was Christchurch College in Oxford.
Yeah.
This is where they shot some of the scenes you might recognise from the entrance hall in the Philosopher's Stone, where they walk up for the first time.
Yeah.
McGonagall's wedding at the top.
Yeah.
Also in the Chamber of Secrets, where they go to that flashback memory.
Yeah, I remember all them.
So that's that same thing. We've got inspirations for the Great Hall here. The Great Hall was all filmed on that set,
Was it?
but these are all just kind of inspirations.
Right.
How can we make it kind of look grand like that, so you can see that kind of roof architecture kind of reflects it.
That's cool.
So all that kind of Gothic architecture that they went for. And these are just a bunch of location shoots that were just people, Stuart Craig and his designers went out to different locations just to get inspirations for designs, artwork, architecture.
Yeah.
Basically, just getting an idea of what they can do to mix it with the magical world and make it what they would like. See, he's got shots of Rothenburg, Germany, over here for that really old architecture there, and then old English Buildman books, things like that. And then on here are just examples of some of the work that the graphics department went to design some of the shop names.
Oh, they're tiny, aren't they? They're cool.
Which is fantastic. These are what they can do. We've got some examples of Daily Prophet headlines, and they'll actually write articles.
Yeah.
Sometimes, most of the time, they'll write a proper article and then they'll repeat it here and there throughout. But that's the great thing about it. They'll write actual words. Same with the books, the school books. They'll go and they'll actually write. I don't think they've got examples, but you can see some more examples of the Daily Prophet. But same with the school books. They'll actually write about 24, 25 pages of ingredients, method, equipment, and then they'll just repeat it so that they can flip through the book and more or less all the students will be on different pages at the same time.
I'll have to look out for that, see if I can see them.
Yeah, it's fantastic. If you're ever in the postman's class, next time you're in the postman's class, if there's someone around, they can show you the book and open it, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Probably the only other most interesting thing to show you would be up here. This is one of the designs, the base designs of Hogwarts Castle. So you can see you've got the grounds, the floor plan. So J.K. Rowling drew the floor plan for Stuart Craig, but he was the one who had to come up still with the architecture. She gave him a rough plan on a piece of paper, very poorly drawn, but then he had to kind of make that into. So you can see they've got the topography, they've got the castle grounds here, they've got the Whomping Willow, and then you can see they've actually put this is stuck on top, this square here, as a revision for then the Prisoner of Azkaban. So they've got that bridge that's now extending out over here, which used to be just a wall. They've got Sirius Black's prison tower, which eventually becomes the Stromby Tower. And this is just an example of how it's ever changing constantly. So you can see this one here. So this is the Prisoner of Azkaban final copy. So you can see it's a little different from that one. So they've actually got that courtyard that's now been put in, that's extending that bridge out. And then the new prison tower, which then disappears eventually and becomes the Astronomy Tower. Things like that.
Yeah, thank you very much for your help. So thank you.
It's very good.
books to now to more information. New room.
Hit like and subscribe.